Hey y'all. Hey Rock Hugs. What's up, Shaka Shaka? So I hope y'all are doing well. I won't be long. This live is, of course, where you see the lovely, beautiful Nikki. Hey Shay. I did a live like this before I got banned. And I don't know what happened to it. I was looking for it to upload on Rumble, but I can't find it, so I'm gonna do it again. Right? I hope y'all are doing pretty good. Hey, Journey on. So, let's see, where do we begin? So, in the live again, like I said, I did a live on Nikki a few weeks ago. This was the live that had gotten me banned, apparently. All right, so I spoke on a lot of things. And for starters, I guess we'll start off with why Nikki is so angry. Now, even before we get to that, everything that I say is alleged information. I don't know these people. They don't know me. They didn't call to confirm or deny anything. Strictly for educational and entertainment purposes only, right? So it's not hard to tell that Onika has been kind of like appearing to seem as if she's flying off the radar, and she is, allegedly, right? What makes me say that is before we get to uh, whomever she has these, you know, cat fight cat fights in her mind or either out on the internet with, let's talk about what's triggering it. Now, if you ask me, with the most recent live that she did, including many others, Nikki is high. Thank you for my good morning, Miss JB. Thank you. Hey, Deldrick, I'm doing good. Thank you. I hope you are. Yes, that is Nicki Minaj. Uh huh. So, to me, again, like I said, she's high. I gotta say allegedly, but it's not hard to tell. She slurs her words. She stumbles over them. Her face be frozen. I don't know if it's PILLS or I'm assuming it's that. And then other times she's very, very manic and flying all over the place. Um, we could say that would be the booger sugar, you know, Coca-Cola. It's not hard to understand that many of them do these things if they attend these parties or these gatherings and the tray is passed around. If they choose to not associate with those condiments, so to say, they will be looked at differently. You know, the others that are around wouldn't feel as if they were all a part of the same group. So it's not a secret that Nikki gets high. I mean, if you go back and look at some of her videos and her lives, or in the future, the way she talks, the way she looks, everything is just she just looks like a rich, pretty junkie, allegedly. Okay, yeah, that's Nikki. Hey, Ronnie and Tony. So with that being said, okay, yes, I called her a rich, beautiful junkie. Okay. Now, I'm going to say allegedly because that is my personal opinion. Now that we have gotten that out of the way, I'm probably going to repeat that again some more throughout the live because this is the one that got me banned. Now, one would ask, what's up with her? Why is she flying all off the deep end? Why is she so mad and sensitive about things? Why isn't she getting along with all the girlies? Why is she acting so weird and jealous over these new artists? Um, Nikki's power was stripped from her a while ago. And it was stripped from her during the time that Megan and Cardi B were pushed out there. Now, in order for them to somewhat ring a bell in these streets, they removed Nicki. Nicki reigned for a very long time. There were no other female rappers in that on that level to even compete with her in a sense. Thank you, Armani. Thank you. And it's not that it was a competition, but she had no competition in that time. And to go back even further, the Nikki that everyone is so used to hearing is the industry Nicki. Nicki didn't come out of Queens rapping like that. The way she raps now is so pop animated that it doesn't make any sense. It's not how she originally came out. I used the reference of, remember Pink, the singer, the punk rock um pop singer. Well, of course, like she said, Ellie Reed introduced her to us as being an R&B artist, the white girl with the fly pink cut who could sing, and she didn't want to do that, But for him, he wanted to push that agenda on her. So it's the same with Nicki. Nicki didn't come out like that. Nicki came out with super bars, and I'm not talking about the bubblegum rap, the Pink Princess bullshit. This was the rapping over the Biggie joint. Who the fuck is this? Like she was that's what I appreciated in that moment because I'm from New York and it was something that I was accustomed to hearing when I think of bars. Not that bubblegum shit, right? So I'm saying all of that to say that she didn't have any competition during that moment of reign. So the elites came to her and had her go sit down. You didn't hear from her for a very long time. And hey Janae, you didn't hear from her for a very long time, but you heard from Cardi B and you heard from Megan Thee Stallion. Okay? The elites were trying to push those two and not necessarily seat Nikki, but they knew that three women in a cage wouldn't be able to make it. Okay? So the top dog had to sit out for a second. Now, a lot of things are taking place with Nicki and Cardi and Megan as well as Lotto and other female rappers as there's others, right? So now it goes back to why I'm doing this live and why I got banned. Nicki is not upset with any of those women. Hey Deidre. Hey Diaries of Abrina. Um, let's see, who said something? I probably ignored their comment. Hey Sandy. Hey Diana. Unique. Okay. Um, this is why she's upset. The two women that I mentioned, Cardi and Megan, when they were first pushed on the scene, both of them were recognized and elevated because of a photo with one person. A photo with this one person. There's three people that you can take a photo with that will have you making millions of dollars the next day if you're an artist. Period. It's automatic elevation. That's Drake, Beyonce, and her husband Jay-Z. Those two women, yes, Beyonce. Those two women, Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion, on their up and coming, they those two women, yes, Beyonce. Those two women, Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion, on their up and coming, they we know Beyonce knows all about this, allegedly, right? You have Carrie Hilson to name. You have Latoya Luckett, if you want to keep it all the way 10,000. You have Blue Cantrell. You'd have Aaliyah. You have what's my the beautiful, and I miss her voice so much, A. Marie. You have many women that get pushed back that are good. Thank you, Edwin. That are really, really good. It's not that they're bad, it's just that it's competition. So, Nikki was upset about this. Nikki was upset because, bitch, you know what it's like to be number one. I'm in my Nikki voice talking to Beyonce. Because if you've been in my lives, this is where I'm going with it, you know? Thank you, Edwin. So, Nikki, I just got so caught up in the big good afternoon, I got off track. What was I last saying? Because I gotta land this plane and say it in a different way than what I said it before. Because whatever I said got me banned. But Nikki, in my Nikki voice. Yeah, I'm just saying, B, like, what it's like to be number one at the top. You the top bitch and I was the top bitch. So it's like you vouching for somebody else and you know the elite is gonna rock with whatever you say. And then of course down the line, the setup with Tory comes about. So things were floating in motion to push Nikki away, not completely out of the box because she makes the elites a lot of money. They're not gonna get rid of her, but they will go along with what Jay and Beyonce says until they get tired of them and start working on their ass because they're next, right? Allegedly. But it's the idea of understanding who she's really upset with. She's not upset with Megan. She's not upset with Cardi. She's not upset with Lotto. She's not upset with these women. She's mad because the industry, the elites, made her sit down. Now, for her, it's still a vain moment. And it's a vain moment. Thank you, Edwin. And it's a vain moment for her only because um it's like, well, I gotta be somewhat good or the best if you want to remove me so that these bitches could have a shine. You know what I mean? But to forcefully tell someone you must have a seat for a second while we concentrate over here. Um, we know that of the two I mentioned, Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion, one is an agent, and what I mean by that is one is there to be pretty and just stand there and corrupt the youth and pretty much spit out whatever she's told to spit out behind a microphone. Okay, we know that's Cardi, right? Allegedly. Um, and Megan's role, Megan will be a deliverer of the mindset of a woman being independent. Fuck a man, fuck that N word. We ain't worrying about no husbands. Like that's when you should be. Hey Coco Flower, thank you Edwin. You know, um, yeah it is. So I'm gonna land the plane in a second. I'm gonna tie it in so that it'll all make sense. Um, whomever Beyonce and Jay-Z push out, whoever they are seen in a photo with, they're shaking hands or standing very, very close for the cameras. Beyonce's just not going to snap a photo with anybody because she knows that photo is going to be so valuable. It's going to add wealth to you. And she's very picky and choosy on who she chooses to give that to. Okay? So Nikki is pissed off at that. Nikki is pissed that she knows Beyonce has a lot to do with her having to have this seat. If we remove Beyonce out of the picture, we could say Jay-Z, because later down the line, as Megan grew slightly bigger, she wanted to depart from her record label, and we know who bought her out, Rock Nation. She's under their management. I don't know how, we know how it happened, and um Megan has to pay them back. How do you pay them back? Well, what did they do for Megan to need to pay them back? They helped her get out of her contract, even though she knowingly and willingly signed with 1501. There's paperwork to prove that. Somehow Jay Z has the super duper super saiyan powers to have things changed. So now she's under their management, and the price for that was to sacrifice an innocent life, not by death, but by bearing false witness. Tory does not deserve to be where he is. Now, this is my personal opinion, and some people may be upset about what I'm going to say. Megan, in my clear understanding and common sense, was never um, in the state that had a bullet put through her foot. No, the first doctor said it was glass. Mama named him Clay. I'm going to call him Clay. Okay? It's not. Thank you, Flower Child. Um, he didn't, it never happened. The doctor said it was glass. Oh, and then later we changed our story. They They take out coroners for giving the truth during the first autopsies, and then they bring in other coroners to that are paid off to lie. That's an example as to showing you that it's very possible. So with she allowing the setup of this to happen to Tori, and really Tori wasn't even the target for her. Rock Nation was upset with Tori because they wanted him to sign with them. And when he said no and understood that he himself didn't need the JDL, which is the Jewish Defense League, he didn't need a record label. He didn't need no middlemen to touch his money before it came to him. When he dropped his album, he made so much money in a few minutes. I think in like less than 2 or 3 minutes, he made millions. And not only that, the consumers, the people who bought the album, they made money too. He cracked the code that was unheard of. They couldn't have that. They couldn't have this little Negro young guy from Canada introduce other young Negroes, old, small, young, whomever, even outside of the ones that look like him, into a world of having your own. Oh, you can't possibly do that, you know? So, no, he never. The thing is, did he pop her foot? He never popped her foot. The foot was never taken. Jay has the ability to have stories concocted in a way that it would go to his liking for his artists. Satan promises to take care of you if you give him your soul. That's the least he can do. Artists, Satan promises to take care of you if you give him your soul. That's the least he can do, right? So the setup began and the setup took place, and Megan is now free of 1501. She will be elevated and rapping until kingdom comes. Nikki hates that. She knows what happened. She knows what Megan did. She feels like her time is up. I speak about expiration dates. Now, it doesn't mean that she feels that she's going to DIE, but, you know, um, sometimes artists are cast aside for whatever reason. And if we think outside of the rap game, we can look at that example with Clive Davis, Phyllis Hyman, and Whitney Houston. Now, in that situation, an actual death really occurred. But if you know, then you know. Because sometimes one got to go to make room for another. And it's always out of three. Okay? In that case, prior, you would have had Lotto, Megan, and of course, Cardi, right? So, one of them ended up elevating a little higher than all three. And which one would that be? You have Lotto, Meg The Stallion, and you have Cardi. Right. Facts. I agree with you. Excuse me. I agree. Yes. Megan is gonna soar. She's gonna soar. Um Regardless if we want her to, I don't want her to. It is what it is. Who am I to sound like I'm a dream crusher? But uh things come with that height, and she's on the team of someone who's guaranteed to make you a star just off of his name and his wife alone. So it's coming. It's definitely coming. They have to allow the public to calm down about Tory. People are still upset about that. So they can't just put her out there as of yet, completely. However, Nikki gets to sit behind the scenes and watch all of this, driving herself crazy, abusing her nose, uh, the bottle that contains little tablets. I'm sure she's consuming them, allegedly, if you would. And not only that, her husband is her handler. Why would a man with a wife that is known all over the world, if you would. Maybe not all over the world, but in many parts, right? Be okay sitting right there on the chair with her, knowing she just had a whole full snowing blow nose session. You know, you're sitting right there on the live with her, you're looking at her. It's because he knows. I would say he's probably the one giving it to her. See, a handler's job is to keep that person in the zone of non questioning, um, no thoughts, no thinking about anything. That way, they're easier to be controlled. So, Kenneth is her handler. I have to say allegedly, but yeah. I mean, look at his background. I mean, isn't that enough? See, the elites would never allow someone of a high status like Nikki to marry outside. You can't get no regular schmegler nigga. No, they would. That's why there was a separation between she and Safari. When you go to certain levels, you can't bring certain people with you. You have to bring a certain type of person with you. See, Safari couldn't go with her because Safari still has his family that could whisper in her ear, boy, you don't remember who God is. You went to Hollywood and you stopped, you know, lying with goats and sheep and shit. Like, what's wrong with you? You know, his family would have whispered in his ear, get the fuck out of there. They don't want that. That's confusion to them. So, yes, Meek was definitely sent to her. Look at where he's at now. That boy been trying for a long time. You know, I can do a live on him next because I saw something that just made me sit there and stare at my phone like, what? But yeah, Kenny's he's not in the industry. Right, I agree. Um no, Kenny's definitely not her I mean, well, you're entitled to say that if that's what you think. But as a husband, if you really truly loved your wife, y'all lived in a 2 bedroom condominium, she drove a Honda, you drove a I don't know, Wagoneer. Good life, but simple, right? Would he really care? Or is it different because she's filthy rich and she has millions? He probably gets her a huge bag, allows her to stay at home, get pretty dolled up just to sit in front of the camera and make a fool of herself. Is that love? Would your husband let you do that? Not at all. He be sitting right there with her, talking to her and all. You don't know your wife is fucked up? I'm a viewer and I know she's zooted. Zooted. Plenty of videos. I may do a compilation of that when I get off of this live. Now, this isn't to bash her. This is just to get us to pay attention on what's going on. Fuck what they talking about. She don't care nothing about no Megan. Yeah, she called the Bigfoot. She mad at Beyonce. You know, she's really mad at Beyonce and Jay for promoting these other bitches over her. You know, um, it's like she knew once the photo ops came about and she saw and it was circulating that Beyonce had photos with Cardi B. And then she brought on Megan with her on the Renaissance tour, and they're both from Texas. Like, Nikki's not in the mood for that shit. She feel like it's shady. But will she ever say something to B about it? Remember, B and Nikki was super tight. They're not anymore. Nikki don't get invited places. Now, Beyonce sent Nikki flowers at the birth of a child. That would seem the more classy thing to do, right? Especially for someone who wants to set an example. Um, they're not for someone who wants to set an example. Um, they're not worth now as she is right now alive. Then they still have more time to use her. That's why they allowed her to have her family. They put her with her strange fetish husband, allegedly, and you know, behind the scenes in that pretty Versace robe and those green contacts and that $8,000 hairstyle, zooted, Junkieville, and he be sitting right there with her. So she's aggravated. She's humiliated. She had to go. She. It wasn't too long ago with her dropping that album. You know how long it took her to do that? It's not by choice. These people are told what to do. She wasn't allowed to. She wasn't allowed to do that. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get off because I don't know how I got a violation for hate speech. I didn't even say nothing that was crazy. So let me get off. I'll go ahead and do the compilation as soon as I hang off of here. This is crazy. This is why I got banned. But anyway, Cash App is right here. Do. Feel free to send $1. I really, really appreciate it if you do. I can always get off and come back on. It's a lot more information that I can share. So thank you, Shaka. I appreciate you. No hate from you. Thank you. Yeah, that's terrible. I don't understand. No problem, Rocky. No problem, J Stone. Yeah, they always do this to me. I don't know. I guess it is the Barbs. But I don't know. Nikki probably watches too. She's like the post before of mine. So when I did the John Benet series, yeah, she was over that. But it didn't matter if she was or not. So anyway, we'll come back later. I'll probably come back in like the next 10 minutes and try to finish up. But in the meantime, I'll go ahead and give you guys some clips of her zooted moments so that we can have something to go off on the next live. Yeah. So I'll be back in a few minutes. Bye.